Check, check, 1, 2. Okay. So my stream froze there. It's gonna let everyone know that I'm in new live. All right. All right. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. Everything went black and shut down on me. It might have something to do with the 5,000 tabs I have open. I'm working on some stuff. So let me just slowly get rid of those. And there we go. Anyways, what I was saying. Are you the guy that turned $20 into 1 million or something? I turned $26 into 40 Bitcoin. Are we watching a big long setup? Well, we can prepare for a long setup, yes. We missed the boat for the short. If you didn't get it on the head and shoulders, you could still be holding that position. A lot of people exited already. Like I know I exited that trade already. So anyone who might still be in that, you could still hold it until we reach the uptrending momentum here. What is going on with my stuff here? I'm going to reset this chart and see if it will load up properly. He's that guy from the Max Maher channel. Yeah. That's where most of my subscribers came from, that video that he posted about me there. Welcome to the party, man. So where I'm preparing for a long is either going to be based off of how we perform against this momentum right here, or how we perform against, if this doesn't hold and we break this momentum, we fall to the downside, 85K level. Between like 92K and 85K, there's like billions of dollars worth of liquidity that could cause that can cause a reversal for us. And us coming down to that level is actually a healthy thing to allow an extension for the bull market. Great story, of course, but your TA is tip top. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Sexiest trader in the crypto space. Yeah. What do we got in chat here? Well, I'm going to close this and reopen it or something. Just exit this page entirely. Okay. And nothing really wants to render. Let's load up. There we go. That'll do it. Okay, here we go. All right, so yeah, reversal confirmation will come here when we break this level, especially if we see a retest off of it. I would prefer, if you jumped in on this, that you'd wait until the retest, because of the fact that we have so many barrier concerns right here, like the VWAP, the value area low, the previous, there's a strong low here as well that we just broke through on the daily. So there's a lot of confluence for barrier concerns. So if you get the retest, it might behave something like this, and then you can get on the higher high, because then you would be jumping in when you have acceptance into this value area, and you can at least try to hold it to the downtrending momentum here. So it's gonna be a small trade, like a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, depending on the stop loss guard. But you'll be doubling your risk on it, and then you can wait for the next potential continuation from there. Because if we get acceptance back above this area, we might end up getting a stronger inverse head and shoulders to provide us like those warning signs of accumulation. But if we instead get that continuation, we go to this momentum, then this is where I'll be preparing for the next long. If we break through that, instead of honor it as support, then I'll be waiting right here. And the further it goes down towards 85K, before we're confirming that reversal, the bigger the risk to reward ratio, because we can start targeting like extreme highs with that kind of entry. So we'll see if we break that momentum around here and maybe get a return to 100K after that and start being range bound between this zone. And the longer we stay ranging, the better, because it'll reset our on-chain data for the macro continuation. We're already starting to get a good reset right now just from that pullback that we've got. It's gave us like a pretty big extension to the bull market. If you think about, like the last time we got to this zone, it was at 70K, and then we ranged for like 8 months, and we reset this chart, dramatically reset this chart, and now we're at the same location that we were on the RUP chart, but now we're in the 100K levels. So if we stay range bound, we can reset the chart as people exit the market and new investors come in, and our top could be around 150K instead of our predicted 120K based on the metrics and how it was growing at the time. But this reset really extends some things for us, so we can see it get to a much higher target for the top. He's Batman in real life. Hey Kyle, good to see you. Do you think any new long-term opportunities will appear for Ethereum or any strong alts? What alts will have a 2x chance? Alts with a 2x chance. Well, right now, because of this cool down the market's getting, a 2x opportunity is getting easier and easier to find. But things are still going to have to stabilize before we confirm bottoms. But if you want like safe 2x's, I would say DOT is a good safe 2x. Let's load up the DOT. I think I have a DOT chart ready. I do not, so I'll just look it up on my watch list here. Yeah, so DOT, if we zoom out a bit, it also had a kind of a head and shoulders behavior. And now it's coming down to revisit, well, this macro value area here. Let's pull this up through here. We just bounced off this point of control. I think that we're likely going to stabilize off this point of control before bouncing. So I think this is going to be our floor. If we lose this level, we could come down to the value area low at $4.80, but I don't think that's going to happen. If Bitcoin heads down to 85K, then yeah, this was likely going to happen. But if Bitcoin maintains the macro momentum that we're looking at, then this is basically the floor for DOT right now. Let me just pull some of this apart here. We can delete this data. Don't need that anymore. We can adjust this trend line to sync with the current momentum. We don't need this anymore. We don't need that anymore. And oh right, yeah, I did a lot of TA on some stuff today, so everything's kind of looking identical. We got this like automated pump here, like V-shaped recovery, and then like a rounded bottom. And a lot of stuff is looking like this. And this is currently the key area of interest for most of those assets. So if you're looking at assets and you're finding that it looks like a lot like this on the hourly and the 15-minute time frame, just know that this area here is the key area of interest to identify the reversal. Now there's front run opportunities down here for sure. Like we got a rounded bottom right here. This is the area of interest for it. And when we break this level, we see active support, then you can jump in on the break of structure and slip into, there's a very small fair value gap here, but there's also low volume here as well, where we can quickly move to this area here. But once we get up there, that's our next area of interest that we need to see support off of to confirm a reversal. And not only would that play off this ascending double bottom, right, or an Adam and Eve, this basically is an Adam and Eve structure, but upside down, like an inverse Adam and Eve. And for those of you who don't know what an Adam and Eve is, it's basically just like a double bottom structure, except we have that it's more volatile. There's more signs of accumulation and interest. So we have an initial brief spike and then like a rounded move. But yeah, 6K subs incoming. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. We're almost at 6K. And then, yeah, sky's the limit. I'm excited to release soon, I'd say my first quote-unquote professionally made like YouTube video. The only thing that it's lacking right now is just the thumbnail and some of the description details, and it's ready to go. But yeah, so to go over your question a little bit more, I would say DOT is a good 2x opportunity. It has the opportunity to go at least back to $11. So when that confirms, when this break confirms, this is the measurable base move is around 11.17. Basically this top value area, you're gonna have to watch that area a lot because the value area low can act as a form of resistance. But once we get acceptance back inside this value area, then the return to that area would be a lot easier for us to obtain. But yeah, but macro wise, that's just a micro move, right? This could be the front run move to a bigger opportunity. Because if we break $11.67 after that, I don't know where that accent came out of, but if we get a break above this level, this is a key area of interest to allow DOT to get into like the previous bull market conditions. If we break back above that area, then we can get to like 23 bucks, no problem. This is the key area of interest right here. This is the supply zone where you got to watch out for potential reversals. But if we get into there, then we might see the structure giving us a continuation behavior or a reversal behavior. And then we can make our decision whether or not we want to stay in it or get out. But this is where the 2x opportunity kind of lies for DOT. So I hope that helps you out, man. Now, I recommend against assets that are in price discovery, and like any assets that are like SUI, for example, things that are already kind of gotten their all-time high, just because we don't really know the barriers of concern when you're in price discovery other than order books and psychological levels. Like SUI, I still think it can grow quite a bit, but with DOT or assets that have yet to reach their all-time highs, at least you have areas of concern that you can mark with alerts so you can prepare for reversals a lot easier, because you just mark those key areas of interest. But you can't really do that with things in price discovery unless you are really monitoring the order books. Omni seems to move together with Bitcoin. Do you think? Let me look at what Omni, unless you're talking about Omni Network. Which one are you talking about, man? Omni Network? Because I know Omni, their liquidity is mostly in stablecoins and Injective. And Injective has a lot of Bitcoin pairing liquidity. So because Injective has a lot of Bitcoin pairing liquidity, Omni Network will move alongside with Bitcoin because of that. I think this is the chain influence, basically. So Bitcoin, like pairing reserves into Injective, INJ, and then INJ into Omni. So as Bitcoin moves, Injective will move. As Injective moves, it'll move into Omni. So that's how the pairing reserve influence will happen with Omni. So you can kind of use Injective as an oracle or a lens to tell you that there might be a move coming very soon with Omni, since they're so tightly correlated. So yeah, I definitely agree, man. Omni is influenced by Bitcoin's price action. It doesn't have very much relative strength. In other words, it has a boss telling it what to do. Especially when Omni is that young too. Like Omni doesn't have, they haven't even started their their marketing yet, really. Yeah, they have some Bitcoin reserves too. Cool. What else we got? Hey, Kyle, could you look at ICP and VChain? Do you think they can do 10x? Let's take a look. Let's do ICP first, because I don't think ICP will 10x. Unless there's something about it that I don't know. Like, I have some. I bought during the worst time possible. Like, ICP taught me a huge lesson about initial coin offerings. Don't invest in them until after the dust settles. Because I got 4 of them at like $100 and some, or something like that. But I kind of made all the, obviously, my losses on that. It wasn't a very big investment. So let's get this deleted. We don't need this anymore. Let's see here. Okay, so right now it is bouncing off of this previous value high. Similar to DOT, actually, except where DOT is positioned, it's off of a point of control, roughly around this area. So this kind of got the same kind of movement as DOT. And from here, if it gives us the same kind of, same structure, same kind of exact structure, except the round bottom is off the previous value area high. So we have some confluence backing this bottom here. Whereas like DOT's like strong levels, like basically right here where the POC is on its chart. We've got this downtrending momentum right here. Our key area of interest right here. That needs to be broken and have act as support, which is $11.27. So if we see this level act as a form of support, we break the downtrending momentum simultaneously, get that break of structure, stop loss below the strong low, enter during the break of structure, and you can ride it to the measurable target, which is around $15. And we got a really good liquidity line right here. Yeah, really good liquidity line right here. So there's lots of money stacked from here, 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 which is going to act like a big magnet for the price action. And that's why these falling wedges usually break to the upside, because of how liquidity rests within them. We start going after that, all the money from the stops, the high leverage traders, stuff like that. The front run opportunity will come from the break of the the rounded bottoms horizontal resistance. Let's get rid of that line and see if we can use a 15-minute. That's better. So the 15-minute, we need to see price action to break above it. The supply zone will likely cause a drawdown, and then higher high, break a structure, stop loss guard, and then enter during the break a structure. Watch this as your primary area of interest for that continuation, but also as a potential barrier, because we can just as easily get rejected here as we could see active support. In fact, it's actually statistically more likely for it to have a rejection here than it is for it to actually give us that continuation. So just prepare for that. But yeah, that's what I prepare for ICP. Now VChain was the other one that you brought up in the chat there. I've gotta have a VChain chart, right? Nope. There it is. Okay. Yep, looking like everything else too. That like V-shaped recovery, Adam and Eve structure. We just need to break this level. Same behavior. We need to break horizontal resistance. This is where being a picky trader can actually make you quite a bit of money here. So if you have this many opportunities that look the exact same, sift through them and find out which one has like the best liquidity, which one has the least percentage drawdown with your stop loss, and pick the one that has the least amount of barriers, and then you'd find that you'd be a lot more profitable sifting through the opportunities that look identical and just picking the ones that kind of give you the best risk. Snek. You guys want me to look at Snek too, eh? Yeah, we can do that. I'm actually curious to see how this thing's doing. Let's look at it on Mexi, I suppose. All right, so Snek lost its momentum. Look at that move, though. Like, it was pretty picture perfect. If you're an absolute beginner trying to learn how to confirmation trade breaks like this would be like super beginner friendly. We had the break above the value area high, and then we got the higher high, right? Once we got this level broke, we get that break of structure. Stop loss here, and then the measurable base target would be from here to the last area of consolidation. Click, drag off of the support bounce, and that's what gives you the target. So it'll be roughly around here. So it kind of surpassed the measurable base target. And once we lost that momentum, we started falling pretty harshly. We got a demand zone right here. And this was our recent demand zone right here. We came in it, and as soon as we got inside, then we basically think of it like chipping away armor, right? We kind of broke through that armor. It got really weak. So the next time we retested it, we broke right through it, had act as resistance and got a lower low. And then we kind of like tapped the other demand zone, had a really aggressive bounce, and got slapped down from local resistance. Let's see if there's a better picture being painted here, though. We got, this is our currently our momentum. We can get rid of this. This was to mark a low. That was really important. Whenever you're like riding momentum like this, look for the most recent strong low and mark it, because once we break that momentum and we get that change of character, then it's a lot more significant if you have the simultaneous loss of momentum and change of character. If we instead veer it off over here and we got a change of character within the confines of the momentum, then we still have that chance of a continuation. Whenever you have something like this instead, there's a lot more confluence for a bigger drawdown. And yeah, right now locally, if we zoom in on Snek here, well, it's a very community-based driven token, so this thing thrives from its community. We got fixed range here. So this is the current behavior. We're getting squeezed against this momentum, and it's got very little amount of time left before a big move, like a maximum like 8 or 9 hours. If we lose this value area low and we have it act as resistance, we have a short opportunity. If we look to the left, see what kind of barriers we have for our short opportunity, we've got a little order block here in the 15-minute around like 0.0052. We had an order block here, but it was mitigated from this wick right there. So this will be the next area of concern, like roughly around this zone. But you could target as low as this low right here, around 0.0046 0.09. If we instead, like, unfortunately, the area of interest for the long is really close to the local value area high. Based on the current price action behavior, this is the key area of interest for the long. So when if price action bounces here instead of breaks below and acts as resistance, if we get that initial bounce, then we'd have that double bottom, break of this momentum, and you could get the measurable base target from the neckline to the support. And it basically brings us right to this order block right here. So you can long here, target here, but you need to have a really tight stop loss or else the risk to reward ratio is not going to be worth it. So I'd pick your battles on this one. Well, that's Snek. I hope that helps you out. This is the second attempt, Wagner. Oh, yeah. I had to restart. I had to restart YouTube. Sorry about that. My screen went black halfway through talking about Bitcoin. What are we missing here in the chat? Since the halving, this cycle has been its own beast. Hard to find confluence against previous macro and exit properly. It has been its own unique kind of beast. But one thing I like about on-chain data to try to guide us for trying to call the cycle top is that the data is like, it doesn't lie. It's really consistent. Like we can prepare for potential corrections, but our drawdown fears are going to be significantly lower. If this became a top, it wouldn't feel like the top unless we got to the overheated zone on this chart. So I'm predicting that we're going to go range bound for a long period of time if we don't break that high. But I don't think that we're going to be creating new lows or going into like a bear market kind of environment. Usually around this time we tend to have a really good last hurrah kind of pump, and then we start to crash. But this cycle is kind of unique. Having the all-time high area, like the previous all-time high from the last cycle, be the same location where we have our halving event, like that's never ever happened before. Like we never had a halving event. It was like roughly around here at an all-time high. It's usually the conduit to break structure. Like here was the halving event last cycle, and it was the conduit to allow us to break the macro structure and give us that move to the upside. Whereas this is acting as like the conduit for a stronger continuation in a more of like an extended bull market. So I'm excited to see like where we go from here, but I'm glad that we're ranging and we're starting to cool down a bit. Like we had warning signs already that we're going to be range bound soon, eventually, because we had this rounded top. We're seeing that investors were getting out slowly, right? Taking profits. But new investors are coming in, and we have that evidence through the on-chain data. Like the price is being stabilized from new investors rushing in and old investors getting out. What's your take on Pendle? I don't know what Pendle is. TA on Trisig coin. I think I missed it. Do you think we'll hold 90K? Do I think we'll hold? Well, 92K is more important. We got to hold this level. It's really important. When we had that remember that crash that we had, everyone kind of freaked out about. It was like a 10K crash. We retested the zone. We added a bunch of liquidity below this area, and we recently had another bounce that undercutted that zone, and a bunch more liquidity was added. So I think that if we are going to go down, we're probably going to get a bounce off around like 91-ish K, and then we'll see if we maintain the downtrend after that. But I just think we're going to have an initial pump here from that liquidity grab. If it's used as buy-side liquidity, or it should cause a decent pump. But overall, if we lose this momentum here, we're definitely going to fall down to like 85, 84K. So I'm hoping that we hold this level here, because I'd love to stay range bound from here to like basically this extreme high, and just play around in this area. What do I think about? I think I got a TA request already. And I'll get back to that. And then I gotta head out soon, guys. I got another like 20 minutes. How about auto chart? AI launching on base. No way it's called auto. Launching on base. Oh, I'll look at Ondo, sorry. So auto. Oh, it's not out yet. That makes sense. Okay. CAS against Bitcoin. CAS VCC pair. We'll do it again. CoinX. This data's it's not showing all the data properly, so I'm gonna go to the KuCoin. Oh, it's even worse here. All right, well, this is all the data that I got, unless this is the origin, but I don't think it is. If this is the origin chart, then, which I highly doubt it is, and we're at an area of support from the past. I just don't feel like that's comfortably all the data that we have for this thing. But against Bitcoin, CAS is looking weak. Let's see what we have in the lower time frames here. And we got some ascending support here. Got a bit of ascending resistance. And if we get a rejection here, like so we have a bear flag. So what tends to happen with bear flags, sometimes you have ascending ones like this where buyers are undercutting each other. And liquidity is being constantly grabbed from the uptrending resistance. If this is just another liquidity grab, then we're going to come down here, and this would be the current area of interest that needs to be broken to bring us down to this the measurable base target right here, which could create a new low. If we instead have this, we got a full body close above this area, we could still see this stabilize as support. I don't know. I don't think it'll be likely. If you're trying, are you trying to determine which one to hold during certain periods? Is that why you're trying to use comp data against Bitcoin? If you have comp data against Bitcoin, then this is basically telling you that you shouldn't be holding the asset. You should be holding Bitcoin right now. Unless this breaks, then you could swap between the two. And just watch this supply concern, where we'll probably go range bound for a potential continuation or reversal. But if we have this active support, jump on the break structure and target this area here. Let's grab that measurable base move really quick just to validate that. Yeah. So we're right here. So bear flag, if we break to the downside here, otherwise I wouldn't even enter the long here unless we got maybe a better reset, better structure. Otherwise I'll be patient and wait for a break structure above this zone here so you can jump in on a position of strength. But that's all I've got for CAS against Bitcoin. Let's see. 10 more subs to reach 6,000. Nice. Oh, we hit it. Party time. Right before Christmas. Thanks, guys. Pretty cool. TA Trisig. Let's see what that is. I don't think I've done that one before. Trisig. So it's not on... Alright, it's built on the Sloan network. I don't know if this is it. Tri-Sigma. A regression trend. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's the whole, that's probably not the whole chart. Two candle pullback. Yeah. 15 minute is looking weak. Just do this here. So this tri-sig, it's double topping right now. We just haven't confirmed the neckline as resistance. We broke below it full body wise right here, but we have a wick here where liquidity might be residing. We have a little bit of a demand zone right here. So when we came down, we bounced off of it pretty much immediately, but now it's weaker. So I would look for full body reactions, like a break of structure. And then you can begin your short, but you have to watch right here as a potential area of demand where we could bounce. If we fail to get the higher high or acceptance back inside this valley area, then we're going to likely have a head and shoulders. And it could drop much further down from there. So it's looking more bearish than bullish for this thing too. And again, I'll just mark this level here in case you need to screenshot it. Yeah, this whole area is an area of demand, but this is the strongest point of that area of demand. So if you short, it might be short-lived. You should probably get a bounce around this zone. How's liquidity? The liquidity below us on chain link. We got a rounded bottom as well. So we got liquidity here, 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 and here. We're breaking into a bottom right now, and we're attacking the supply concern. So this needs to be broken and act as support for that continuation. And it's not going to be very strong. And it's looking like everything else other than that. So its rounded bottom is unique in the sense where it kind of already broke it. We broke its median line here. Or its heart line, sorry. Its heart line right here. And we got, this is the round bottom. And this is still the core area of interest. So it's looking a lot like everything else. Let's zoom out a little bit. And we have, if we create that lower low soon, then we could end up having this head and shoulders kind of structure to cause a reversal. Like right now, it's at a really important area of interest that we're trying to break past. If we zoom out a little bit more, like this is the macro value area high for the previous bull market data. And we're fighting it right now as a form of resistance just after hitting this measurable base target, which is right here, like right along this top here. We got this falling wedge pattern, grabbed all the liquidity along the way up, got to this area of interest, but we just need that higher high to allow us to get that larger target. So as Bitcoin becomes range bound, Chainlink is likely going to be range bound for a long period of time. Chainlink loves to range, and it does it for a stupid amount of time. So if you're a range trader, Chainlink's a really good asset to trade. Like this range was 522 days or 24 days, and this one was about 30 or 60. 90 days for that one. 65 days. You're getting my point. Now we create a base structure that could define a potential new range here if we stay here. But hopefully we stay here and we don't confirm this as resistance, because we don't want this to, like, or at least I don't. I'm a big holder of Chainlink. I don't want to have to hold it longer, basically. Yeah, because we lost that momentum, and now we could use it as resistance. We kind of already sort of did a little bit here, so we just gotta be cautious. We could reverse. Please check me chess. What? Chess coin. Yeah, you don't have to spam it, bro. I know there's a lot of requests and it's hard to keep up, but chess USDT. We got downtrending momentum here. This is the daily. Let's zoom out a bit. It's retesting a previous neckline as potentially support right here. We've got this ascending level of support right here. Momentum based target was here. So it looks like we got this rejection from this value area here. Like right off that value area low. So now we'd have to get our measurable target from something else. We can't depend on the double bottom after that rejection there. It was previous value area low. We can watch it as this potential falling wedge. So it's kind of led the race to that neckline zone that we were looking at with other assets. You know, that core area of interest, right? Where we kind of want to have that broken in order for us to get that potential short-term reversal. We're fighting that area, that neckline, as a form of resistance. There's a little bit of supply concern here, and there was an hourly order block, so there's some orders that were still left on the table to be filled. And we got a little bit of a sell wall. So we're consolidating to potentially have that continuation if that sell wall gets defeated, but right now, yeah, this is the area that you want to watch, and this is the support for its kind of flag behavior. Maybe if we get that higher high, we have access support from here, get that break of structure. You could try to front run the neckline break from this. Just be cautious that it could lead to an immediate slap down after getting back to this area. So just watch the momentum and see how it behaves against it. Oh yeah, this thing's leading the race a little bit. I don't know much about it, but it's probably a gaming token, right? Waves. I heard good things about waves. But I don't. Waves got some relative strength. Oh, sorry. So again, this was the area of interest that we were looking at with most assets, and Waves has relative strength because it broke past it already. And if it broke past it already, it looks like it's building that continuation structure, riding along this momentum as support now instead of resistance. And it's flagging, so once we have that the area of interest within the flag break, which unfortunately is right up here. So maybe we'll see price action behave something like this, where we get ugly. Man, this thing's ugly. Might have to switch to the 5-minute, but if we break this level here, we'd have the loss of the internal momentum, right? We already got that. This is our change of character. We could bring us back down to this evolving downtrending support. And from here, we could potentially, if we see double bottom, we could potentially enter along to front run the move of the break. But if this acts as resistance, this will become the new area of interest. If this acts as resistance, this will become the new area of interest, right? But right now, it's right here. And until that break, we don't know what the measurable momentum target would be. But wherever the last retest is after the break, it's where it's going to be. And then it will give us the measurable base move. And we can use that in confluence with the measurable base move from this ascending double, well, this Abbott and Eve here. It looks like it hit the conservative target already. But I could see this going all the way back up to around 260 area, with this being the final boss right here. Along the way up. So that's waves short term. If we zoom out a tiny bit, let's see what it looks like. Okay, it just came out of price discovery. That wick doesn't look accurate. Yeah, so it needs to get above this higher high here, because it got slapped down because of this supply concern, but now that supply is, a lot of it could be mitigated from that rejection as people exit the market after it returns here, those weak hands, right? So if we get above this value area high in confluence with this value area high, have it act as support, then we can start coming after this. I hope that helps you out with the waves, but yeah, it's got to bounce off of the previous value area high right here. And it's about to potentially have that continuation in the lower time frames. Now let's stick to the 15-minute chart for that confirmation. Yeah. XRP, please. Spamming what, dude? Okay. I don't think he's meaning to. I think there's something going on with this computer. XRP. Yeah, XRP is no longer a stable coin, right? There's actually price action you can look at. It won't make you fall asleep. Okay, yes, it's stabilized pretty well though. While everything else is getting destroyed, XRP's got some relative strength for holding its ground here. And that's off of the previous, okay, it's off the previous high, that's why, okay. So that was a vertical pump, right? It went straight up towards its all-time high. Didn't give anyone an opportunity to get in, really. What a wild move. We had I guess we did have the opportunity on the hourly time frame. We had a very clear confirmation structure. Like right here. All right. So anyone who saw that, support bounce, then higher high, break a structure, stop loss guard here. Would I have targeted the all-time high from that move by itself? Definitely not. I would have been cautious here and a cautious here, but we just broke right through each zone like it wasn't even there. So right now, the lower time frame trades, like we're holding off this demand zone right here. We jumped in a little bit of it here, undercut it here with a tweezer bottom reaction, and now we're starting to come back down to this area again. The pace of the momentum kind of shifted after we had this break. So this is the momentum I would follow right about, I guess here, just from here to here. I include this data, so let's update that. And zoom in on the 15-minute. We got lots, just by looking at this price action, I can tell that there's a lot of liquidity above XRP right now. If we want the confluence all together at the same time, we want to have this level broken right here. If we break above this, we have a proper acceptance into the value area from that. If we get acceptance to the value area, then you can target the point of control. And if we get continuation pathing from here, you can start targeting the value area high. But until then, we have to break past this zone here. That's the core area of interest for this structure. So this is the target for the structure itself. But from here, we could have continuations, but we have to break past that first. So the behavior you want to look for is like something like this. Break above this area, potential support bounce. Get it on the break of structure, stop loss guard. Watch for potential reversals here or potential continuations, because this is a trade that you can hold longer term if it works out really well. Well, this is basically the same thing that we're looking at everywhere else, right? V-shaped recovery, rounded bottom, Adam and Eve, potential reversal structure. Hi, Dan. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Yeah. Let's look at virtual. And I can look at one more after virtual, and then I gotta go, guys. Virtual on Bybit. Daily's really young. It's probably not the full chart. Let's see if we can find virtual on MXE. That's better. Right, okay. Man, okay. Well, there's a macro line here. Momentum here. So it's got negative space away from both those zones. Let's look at the 4 hour. Got that. Okay. So we got some negative space away from the momentum. Usually that kind of makes it act like a bit of a magnet for drawdowns, but we'll see what happens short term. We could break this neckline here and come back up to its all-time high. This thing's just been pumping. Hasn't really been resting at all. Like, we haven't mitigated really anything. So we got tons of liquidity below us. I don't know much about virtual, but short term, we go down to the 15-minute. Like, this isn't an asset that I would trade, but maybe during macro breaks, I would enter longs for like actual hold ownership. Like during events like this, I would buy and hold, right? Or events like this one here, right? I might buy and hold during that, or buy and hold during this, but I wouldn't trade it because of the fact that, like, if you zoom in on the lower time frames, well, you don't even have to look at the lower time frames. You can see these wicks can just knock you out and still continue to go up, because this is like a strong low right here. If anyone who's trading like market structure, you depend on this as a guard, and for it to come down, grab liquidity from below it, and then still continue to go up and break the recent high is kind of douchey, right? So make sure whenever you trade an asset that it syncs well with your trading rules and how your stop loss guard works with your trading rules, and otherwise you can just frustrate yourself trying to get opportunities from an asset that just doesn't have clean price action. You want your money to be easily made. You don't want to fight for it. So this will be a good swing trader's asset, but not a short-term scalper trader's asset. So if we break this level here, we could have that ascending double bottom recovery, right? And have enough momentum to potentially break its all-time high again. But yeah, that's pretty much it for virtual. If we break this level here, then we can start heading down to this momentum line again. Yeah. One more. Are we entering any longs to all-time high once we stabilize? I don't know if we'll reach the all-time high, but I will definitely be targeting it. Yeah, once we stabilize at like a level, like we're at a level right now where we need to stabilize, or else we can end up coming down to like 85K area. So we break this, we can target up here. But if we break this level, we could be coming down to 89K level next. We got a bit of VWAP support at 91.7. But yeah, for like a decent longer term hold, like a trade that could last a few weeks, I'll be looking right around here for a long position. Alex Crypto, what's up, man? Where did Batman go? I got the Batman suit, by the way, guys. For anyone who doesn't know already, I bought a Batman suit around Halloween, and I didn't get it until like a week ago because Canada Post in our area, well, not our area, all of Canada has been on strike, so they held my bat suit hostage until then. If it breaks 74K, I agree with you there, man. If this broke, we had active resistance, then we could fall down pretty quickly down to 73, 74K area right here. Well, that's like worst case scenario. I'm hoping that this holds. Bearish Brian has to talk about his low targets. Runaway. Okay, this will be the last one, and then I gotta go. AIX. What was that again? I lost you. AIX. BT. BitGet. What we got here? Ugly. Let's see if we can find something better. Nope. Blowfin. And it's kind of young there too. I guess we're looking at BitGet. Look at that initial liquidity. Hopefully no one was trading on that day. I used to know traders. They're not traders anymore. They would look for these initial listings and trade them. That's what they would go after. The volume from the initial listings and just order book trade it. It's wildly tough to be profitable doing that. Let's see. All right, we got a bit of a ascending triangle. And all that really tells us is how the liquidity is behaving, where the buyers are undercutting each other. Key area of interest is right here for the break of the wedge. This could be a potential area here for that initial internal change of character to bring us down to that area. But right now we're breaking this level on the hourly. On the 15 we are, and it's a little more accurate on the 15-minute safer. Get more full body highs are flush with each other. We can use that as full body support. Break a structure, stop loss guard, And then it could bring us back to the supply concern here, and a little bit of one right here too. So I'd watch to see how it behaves in this zone. If you start seeing reversal patterns like double tops, this is where you would prepare for potentially exiting your trade if you got that exit warning. Otherwise, yeah, you can target up here around 36.7. But where the thing's going to go in the future, this one would require some like extra research because you don't really have any data suggesting a large move to the upside or anything like that. Everything's suggesting that it's going to actually come to the downside, not the upside. So I'll do some research on the asset itself and see what its marketing team is planning. If you like their marketing plans, it might be a good hold. But structurally, everything's looking short-term bullish, but longer-term bearish. All right, guys, I've got to head out. AIXBT is overvalued. Trisig is better agent. Are they both AI agents? I didn't know that. That's cool. Let's see. All right, guys, I got to head out. I really, really appreciate you guys helping me reach my our 6,000 subscriber goal. It's pretty awesome. We got there right before Christmas, and then our next goal will be 7,000. Hoorah. And be on the lookout for a new YouTube video coming out. It's going to be like my first professionally edited video. I'm pretty excited about it. And then my goal is to bring the quality of the YouTube videos to that standard, like going forward. All right. And thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping on. It's fun hanging out. Have an awesome day and happy holidays.